back to Boy
Yes,
Flag.
we are back.
That was Hela, by the way.
Yeah, that was Hela. Today's show is on Rottweilers and the proposed new rulings by the AVA. With us in studio, we have 4 guests. They are dog trainers Kenny Ma and Patrick Wong. We also have proud Rottweiler owner Mrs Catherine Poon and her dog Hela.
The star of our show today. Okay, earlier on in the show, we were discussing a few issues on what our guests think about the new rulings. Now, how about the people on the ground? What do they think? So, let's take a look.
In your opinion, do you think these laws are a bit too harsh?
A little too harsh, I suppose. But I think they are still necessary. So maybe they can tone down the laws a little, but they still need to be there. Yeah, because as you said, the number of incidents have been rising, right? So I believe there needs to be a form of control. Yeah, so a bit harsh, but still necessary.
So you think they could just tone it down a bit, though?
Yes, that's right. Suppose maybe reduce the amount, like let's say, sorry, there was an insurance one, right? Or okay, yeah, reduce the amount or something like that. Yeah.
Do you think these rules are a bit too harsh?
If it's for the safety of the public, I think it's okay to implement them. I mean, as long as the dog owner themselves handle the dogs themselves well, then I don't see any reason they should be afraid of these rulings. You know, of course, unless the dog turn against the public or then of course the owner has to be responsible.
So you think these rules are a necessity?
Yeah, I think they are quite okay because it will actually ensure that the owner themselves train the dog well and make sure that when they go out they are properly leashed and things like this, so that the public will not be harmed.
I don't know, because if the dogs do pose like a great big risk, then it's like good to take safety measures, I guess. But you think it's a bit extreme? I mean, like buy insurance of like $100,000. That probably would be a bit extreme. I guess like if the owners just know that the dogs are that kind of dog and they're willing to take responsibility of the consequences if anything does happen, then I guess that should be enough.
Have you ever encountered like any large aggressive dogs?
Not in a bad way. Yeah. I think they should just have like regulations in place that in the event that anything does happen, the owners have to take responsibility. But for like, I don't know, buying the $100,000 insurance, I don't think that's really necessary if the owners are like gonna take responsibility.
Do you think these laws are too harsh?
I think so. More on the education on the part of the dog owners. Not only just sending the dog to obedience school. An animal is always an animal because it's got its instincts. And I believe a lot has to be done by the owner to keep the dog under control and under restraint. Fines and or insurances are just perhaps punitive, but the damage is already done. So largely it's an ongoing educational training program by the owners of such dogs, and I wish them well.
So have you ever encountered like any large aggressive dogs yourself?
I have, but they're pretty tame. Like I said before, animal has its instincts, and you don't know when it works itself, and then to the detriment of the other person.
Did you guys agree with what some of these people said?
I think they mostly said about like, it's the owners, it's upon the owners, to actually take charge of their dog. Oh, so cute. Hello. Okay. Actually Patrick had some interesting comments when we were talking about it, about how obedience plays a part, right?
Yes. Well, basically, obedience training will not eliminate that fighting instinct, will not eliminate that aggression thing, but it will help to put the dog under control. We do have many dogs that first come to class, they like to fight with other dogs, they dominate a dog. Okay, yeah. But at the end of the training class, the owner is able to control the dog. Yeah. Of course, sometimes the other family members will come in. The wife usually come in and say, "Hey, how come my dog still have this thing about charging at other dogs?" Yeah. Well, they would still do it, but at least they're able to control the dog. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have one comment actually that came in. I think a bit further down. This girl This reader was talking about how, yes, that one, nurture or nature, I say a bit of both. So my Japanese Spitz is by nature very territorial and protective of our family and can get fierce. No matter how much training we've sent her for, it's in her nature. On the other hand, I've seen some very loving, gentle giants of German Shepherds and Rotties.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Kenny?
I think genetics probably play a little part in it. So if you have, say, really aggressive parents, you give birth to a bunch of puppies, I would say probably there's a slight tendency that puppies will take over some of their parents this in terms of these characteristics. But if whoever who takes over the puppies, give it well training from a young age, give it good care, good commitments, I don't see any reason why the puppies would turn out to be like the parents, right? So very much I think is a little bit more of nurture than nature. Yeah.
Okay.
It also boils down to when you get a working dog or any dog, it's very important that you know the pedigree of the dog. The
what pedigree is Hella?
She's from a German breeder.
Amor.
Amor breeder. But the temperament is super good. Once they have a good pedigree, most likely you can train the dogs easily, no problem.
So she's from the Hokkien, not the Pai
Kia. So, but you were saying that before this, you were saying that actually the roughest dogs or the most uncontrollable ones are those that tend to come from like mongrel breeds and all that.
No, not the most uncontrolled, the most unpredictable.
Okay.
You see, with a Rottweiler, if somebody's sending a Rottweiler and they tell me, okay, my dog has got temperament, but I'm aware of that, But the mongrels that comes in, you can't predict them. Yeah. Sometimes they don't even show sign, and they can suddenly turn aggressive. So you have to be very alert. You have to be able to read them very carefully. Yeah. Always read the dog head of the before they turn aggressive. Yeah. But of course, again, reading the dog is a lot of experience. It's not something that you can just see it. Oh yeah, he got that temperament, kind of thing.
But would it help if you know what the mongrels like parents were like? Maybe it was a.
You can't predict them.
Not at all. You can't even put like 2 and 2 together and okay, this dog has this kind of
characteristic. Most of the time, you don't find the parents.
I think a good way to really understand the dog's aggression problem is to understand the history that he has been through. Right? Has it been abused? Has it been trapped in a small place for a long time, or has it been hit by someone with a rod, things like that? So I think I fully agree with Patrick that mongrel is one of the most unpredictable. In the sense that because if we adopt a mongrel of 3 years old from the street, we never know what happened within the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? Someone wearing a cap can be abusing him for 2 weeks.
So anytime somebody wears a cap,
right?
Yeah, he'll attack.
If he don't see anyone wearing a cap, probably nothing will happen. So the trigger, once he sees the trigger, it goes off. So that is what I would deem as unpredictable.
Okay.
So are we going to lay down an insurance for mongrels too?
Yeah, that's the thing, see, because okay, how about was there any period of time where like the Rottweilers in your house showed like unpredictability, or they acted against what you thought they would act like?
So far, they have never posed any such problems to me. And each of us in the family really know his character, his like and dislike. So no. Yeah.
Okay. Then we actually have one comment about nature and nurture. Some dog breeds were previously used in wars. Perhaps some dog breeds also inherit these traits as their ancestors were working dogs conditioned to behave a certain way. Okay, like when I do see like some of the dogs, I mean like all dogs evolved from wolves, am I correct? Yeah. And like some of the dogs, they look so different, like miniature poodles. And I look at a wolf, I'll be like, wow, that's quite a long line of breeding to look like that.
Where did you get a perm?
Yeah, went through a perm and then suddenly shrank down to so small. So I think, but the Rottweiler is actually quite similar to the wolf in terms of like the size wise and the gait and the way it's used as a working dog, right? So
okay.
So I'm just wondering whether like is there a factor in like choosing a dog, let's say for let's say novice owners and all that.
Like, would you advise first time owners to actually go for a Rottweiler?
Well, Go for a Rottweiler. Okay.
But what advice would you give?
Cannot name breed.
I just told Daryl yesterday on the phone. You know, there's this Chinese saying, if you don't have a big head, don't wear a big hat. So if you want to select a breed, especially when you don't have the experience in keeping a large dog, then maybe you can choose something that is not so potentially dangerous. I don't like to use the word dangerous. They're not actually dangerous.
Yeah,
but,
they're not dangerous.
Potentially strong and you cannot manage them. You know? So maybe choose something that you can manage them first. You know, then until you have certain amount of experience and you say, okay, this dog has gone. Anyway, their lifespan is between like 10 to 15 years. You know? So okay, the next 10 years down the road, I make sure I like this breed and would like to have this breed. And in the meantime, you can also do some research and study. You know? Yeah.
So slowly let your head grow bigger than like a big head.
I think one good thing is probably that. I mean, one good advice is that if you want to buy a certain breed, you have to think about it for a while before you just go out and buy it.
You have to think of your commitment, your time you're going to spend on the dog, and of course you have to read up a bit lah. And if you're getting a guard dog for the house, then you have to really spend time socialize the dog at a young age. Like, I would advise whoever's going to get Rottweiler starts from a puppy. That's the best time for training and whatsoever, socializing. That way it won't pose much of a problem.
Kenny, what are your thoughts?
I think for first-time dog owners, before getting any dogs, I think it is always better to read up and research, because having said that all dogs will eventually be well behaved after training, but they still have their different characteristics. For example, some dogs are just hyperactive.
Like Jack Russells, right?
Jack Russells, golden retrievers, they just need lots of activities to keep them going. But some other dogs like Parks, French bulldogs, I don't generally like to generalize, but most of these dogs actually, they do have more quiet times on their own.
Yeah, like more racial traits.
Right. So if you don't have that time and commitment,
racial traits. I was thinking maybe not the right term to use.
Right. So if you don't have, if you think you cannot afford that time to bring the dogs out every day for walks or bring them out to socialize, then maybe choose some other breeds which you think you can handle, rather than just jumpstart in. I like this breed because I like the looks, or I like this. Or to bring out the show off kind of thing. So think carefully before you make a decision.
Okay. Maybe we just go to this other comment, Red Devil 72 again. He said that the kids around my estate always taunt my dog when they pass by. So no wonder every time he sees them, he barks at them. When I take him out for walks, I have to be extremely careful to allow him to get in touch with small children. Sometimes he's okay, other times he'll snap at them. Catherine, do you have that kind of experience before when you bring your dogs for a walk?
Yeah, do your neighbors come to your door and like,
I think there's some postman or...
Yeah, why do they hate
dogs and postmen I just don't get along.
No, I don't think my dog hate postman. It's just that someone is at the gate, just curious. Like I said, Rottweilers, they don't really bark at all. They're just stay calm and watching. As for kids or neighbors that went by and hello to the dog, the dog will respond, but it's how he approached. I'll put it this way. Of course.
Do you have any nasty experiences like in the park or even
never.
other dogs or
no? But maybe as a responsible owner, I know my distance. How to approach in the right way.
So for someone of your stature and your size, you're not very big size, so you can still control the dog.
Yes, it's a technique. Whoever's go to a handler, there's always a technique to pull your dog back the leash.
Okay.
That way, once it's enough, pull hard. Don't pamper your dog. Pull hard. A command is a command, and that's it. Somehow they will listen. Right, trainers?
Well, I think using the correct equipment, I think it's important.
Definitely.
I think that's what Catherine is trying to say. Of course, many people feel that it is not right to put on a training choker chain, especially, it hurt my dog, But they have to understand that the neck is probably the toughest part of the dog anatomy, and the neck is the part that controls. Of course.
The toughest part.
An average 20 kg dog, their biting power is 360 pounds. This was bitten by, you see, the canine went here, and this was bitten actually by a mongrel, which is slightly bigger than a Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
And I was warded in the hospital 4 days. This was bitten by a German Shepherd. This was bitten by Jack
Camera, you can't see. Actually,
you can't see. Yeah, I got a lot at the back.
Not for the rocks, not for the rocks, right?
Yeah. So an average 20 kg dog, they have biting power of 360 pounds. The kind of biting power, if you can get from, don't even mention about Rottweiler, even a mongrel, it's unbearable kind of pain.
Yeah.
Now my point, of course, is not here to frighten people about dog bite and that kind of thing. My point is the neck. When two dogs fight in a pack, they do not fight because they want to kill each other. It's pack instinct. They want to fight because they want to be the leader of the pack. They want to be the alpha dog. And instinctively, they all go for the neck. Because they know that the neck will be the part that controls the whole dog. Which is why training collar are always placed on the neck. And of course, Catherine will realize that however big the dog is, the neck will be the part that controls the whole dog.
Okay.
So however big the dog is how you handle it. Right technique, even a small kid can be able to handle, like my son. Just give it a hard pull. A command is a command. No jokes aside, and the dog will definitely understand.
Kenny, how do you handle large dogs? And
personally, because we emphasize a lot on positive reinforcement. So
give them treats.
So we do encourage and we reinforce positive behaviors. Just like walking, if the dog walk really right next to us on a loose leash, we keep on rewarding. The dog like it, they keep on walking near to us. So I mean, from a young age, if for example, big Rottweiler, if they were start training from puppy age, right? So from age of maybe 2 months, 3 months, every walk they walk within 1 meter radius of away from us.
So you reward them every time they do it correctly with treats. So you're going to carry the whole bag of treats if you train a Rottweiler.
How many treats does he eat one time?
You're going to carry 2 bags. Okay,
It's not a must actually.
So
maybe
actually
for a start, after that you can duly cut down. Cut down the time.
So like for example, I would say for a start, every 2 to 3 steps, give a treat. And then after 1 week, every 10 steps.
Buffet,
then maybe after 1 month, at the end of the street, you give a treat.
There's many ways to reward, not just treats.
So it's
just a pet.
The treat is not actually to make them fill them up. It's actually an act of rewarding that they will remember, okay, this is something I did great, I will just keep on doing it. Right? So it's actually building a trust that you can actually walk close to me. So if you keep on doing that and keep it a practice, it becomes a habit. So most of my clients will actually have dogs walking on loose leash, but of course some of them have pulling problems, and we will have to solve with that using the same technique, but it takes a little bit more time.
Okay, so should we go for a stroll now?
Yes, we're actually going for a short stroll. When we come back, we're going to answer some very vital questions. I won't tell them yet what they are.
Okay.